I'm back, I'm excited, and I have a really good topic to talk about today. So let's get straight to it. Before we do that, though, please hit that subscribe button for me down right there below and notify yourself whenever I start posting these things much more consistently. And if you guys like it, please like the like button down there, and that will help me too. All right, awesome. Let's get to it. Today we're going to be discussing old belief systems and new belief systems. Okay, so I always mention this, but we're going to get into it in a more different concept. Today I want to talk about how young-mindedness and the young idea and consciousness of youth is attached to us throughout adulthood, and how parts of that youthfulness need to be killed off or limited. All right, everybody's probably heard, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, you probably talk about like the inner child, you know, like I still feel young, and you know what I'm saying, compared to being whatever age you are. And that's valid, because I've said this many times. I've always said, actually, like I still feel 17, you know, I still feel 19. Like I remember always saying that as I grew up, and I didn't realize that what I was speaking was actually preparing immature experience for me. It wasn't really serving me by consciously embracing the youth in me as I was supposed to be maturing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's great to be youthful and have childlike bliss and the ability to have fun like a child at times. But there's appropriate times for that, right? Because I started to watch people really, so this is the thing, like the way I even come with any of these types of topics is because I'm experiencing these things in myself first. Once I experience these things, I wonder where they come from. You know what I'm saying? Like once I become aware of my shit, I'm like, where did that come from then? Because once I'm aware and I see the fault in it or see that it doesn't serve me, I'm always curious as to where did it originate? Where is it coming from? Where do I get this belief system from? And why do I believe it's okay? Usually it's because it's my surroundings and my environment and the things that I'm listening to, watching, and putting myself around, right? Because as an adult, you can't really say that you're in the wrong place at the wrong time or you don't have no control. We make decisions as adults, and now we put ourselves in places, and we are responsible because we can make choices that actually are better for us. But sometimes our awareness doesn't allow us to do that. Okay, so now what happens is this. I started to realize that the reason why I was always consciously stuck in this very immature place mentally was because that was the mindset around me. Everybody in my culture actually does this, it seems like, almost, right? So yeah, like I said, there's people who are not even in the urban culture who are still like, I still feel 19, and so on and so forth. But this is the thing. A 19-year-old cannot handle a 30-year-old's responsibilities. All right? There's things that a 30-year-old can't take care of sometimes because he's still in this 19-year-old mind frame. You understand? He or she, it doesn't matter. When I say he, I mean all of humankind, okay? So I want to talk about how this inner child in us sometimes sabotages otherwise opportunities that are here to present us some evolution. You know what I'm saying? Some growth, some conscious expansion. Like that, once that starts to occur, I start to feel like the younger self fights for its place still. Like, I can't go nowhere. Like, so what? This is how I am. This is how I think. That is a child mind frame. Okay? And it needs to grow because it needs to be able, you need to be able to handle the energies that you're attracting as an adult. All right. So let's take some examples. All right. Now, I look at it like this. That consciousness, these are some examples to an extreme, but they're relevant. They're super relevant, and they affect us, and they're probably things that people don't like to talk about. And when people do talk about them, I often feel like it's a judgment. It's like, you're a piece of shit. Oh, you're fucked up. Or you're this, or you're this. People just go into this like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're no good. And there's always this judgment. But you're not understanding why people are in that place and why they even believe that it's okay for them in the first place for them to act like that. All right? Now, the reason why people sometimes do things that make us feel like ill, like, oh my God, you need to grow up or whatever have you, is because they're still in the belief system of, I still feel young. Okay? Now, when you feel young, you think you're still young. because you are thinking your feelings are valid. And your feelings are valid, but as a compass to guide you toward the next chapter, level, place, or consciousness, consciousness that you need to get to in order to continue to evolve. Feelings are not facts, and they constantly shift depending on your circumstances. You have to understand that's not like, oh, only some people let that happen. No, that happens no matter whether you believe it or not. Okay, so the people who find themselves in positions that can't get a grasp onto shit is because they already thinking like, oh nah, that shit ain't happening to me because I still feel young. It doesn't matter whether you feel young or not. Evolution is still occurring all around you, and you're still evolving, although you may not realize it. Consciously, you might not be evolving. Physically, you may be evolving. Financially, you may be evolving. Sexually, you may be evolving. Things like that. But your consciousness and your spirit needs to match up with those same evolutions that are occurring in your other areas of life, or you're not going to be able to handle the shit you're attracting to yourself, which is a lot of people. Okay, so let's talk about dating real quick. If y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all see that I always put up these funny tips about dating in your 30s in urban culture, right? Because I'm not dating, right? I don't date right now, but it's because of the way this culture is. As I started to mature, I'm like, yo, this shit is mad immature. Like, I'm not with none of this, right? And then I started to realize the way people act and the sacrifices that are occurring. So I do the tip thing as a joke, but it's also real true shit. It's like true shit. It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't care how it makes anybody feel. If that shit resonates with you, you probably one or the other in those stories that I'll be posting. Anyway, neither here nor there. The funny shit is, I'm watching how the idea frames and relationships and people, how it's like, oh, well, I don't feel 36. So, I still feel like I'm 17. So I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Now, at those types of situations and those people, like dating, like an older person dating a younger person, that is this consciousness, this old belief system of I still feel young is what justifies their action to say I can date and be sexually active and present mature experiences and engagements with younger people who are really not mature enough to handle this type of shit. And younger people are eager to be looked and revered as an adult and responsible, and so they be willing to sign up for this shit. And that's only because they're not consciously mature enough to know that this person is taking advantage of them because they're not mature. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, a lot of you are probably going to listen to this and be like, yo, this bitch got nerve. But I've dated older people in my life. I've been 16 dating somebody 11 years older than me. You understand what I'm saying? When I was young and revering things like that. And at that time, I thought I was mature. I thought like, oh, he likes me because I'm dope and I'm a smart 16-year-old. And the truth of the matter was he just was a young-minded 26-year-old, but he was definitely mature in other areas that had nothing to do with consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? And that's important. You understand? Because so many men and women or people are dating younger people. You understand what I'm saying? And this has a lot to do with the fear of them growing up. It's not about like physically I'm grown, but financially I'm grown. That is an old belief system that makes you believe that you could, just so long as all those other things are evolving, you still could do X, Y, and Z. You understand? Even legal ages, because I know for a fact, like, there's dudes who are dating younger girls and these younger girls are not, you know what I'm saying? Like mature or whatever the case may be, or legal. And they're still like, you know what I'm saying? All right, well, she about to be 18 or whatever. Like these consciousnesses, that's all a part of the immature consciousness. That's all a part of you not being able to see yourself in a mature light. Like I'm an adult and I gotta know better than that. You understand? And then there's dudes who are older and or whatever. They don't say dudes, but there's people who are older and they're dating somebody who's way younger than them, even though they're not minors. It's still the same thing. It's still the same consciousness. If you're 70 something years old and your girlfriend's like 23, you are crazy if you think they're there for love. I mean, I don't give a shit what nobody says. You understand what I mean? And that person, that 70-year-old, trust me when I tell you, that person ain't thinking about love anyway. All they're thinking about is the worth of the youth. You understand? Because people's brain and their perception and their consciousness about maturity and evolution is valued in the youth. If I look young, if I feel young, if I think young, if I act young, then I'm still young. But those young things cannot show up to mature places in life that need that consciousness. Now, I'm not saying that being youthfully blissful and being able to resort back into childlike joy and bliss is not good and healthy for you. It is. It's fun. But it has to be appropriated. You understand? Because then when you're handling, when somebody breaks up with you, when that 25-year-old leaves your 70-year-old ass because they found some 30-year-old rich, fine guy, you understand? You won't have a heart attack and drop somewhere because you ain't upset. Or like, oh my God, my worth, they don't love me no more. It's because your worth is not in your looks. It's not in your physical. It's not in your actions. Your worth is in your belief system. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Your worth is in your belief system. Whatever you believe in is what you measure your self-worth by. If you believe getting money by any means necessary is good for you because you value money, then you'll take any job that lacks integrity to gain money. That's not good for you, no matter how much money you get. You understand what I'm saying? That's not good for you. And it's not good for anybody else that's engaging with you in order for you to get that money, which brings a whole bunch of other bad luck around you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand those things. All right. So the consciousness of the person who's older than the people that they try to allure and drag in is because they believe that they're still young too. They feel young, so they feel like they can still date older people. That they can still date younger people. But in my personal opinion, that's a misbalance. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So, especially because it's more of a spiritual play. You understand? Whatever. Anyway, neither here nor there. So that's one extreme of it. Okay. And then there's another extreme. The other extreme is the physical. Okay. Like physically maturing. Physically becoming older and getting, more mature and your body changing and your looks changing. It's a beautiful thing. But it's the perception that we have that makes us feel bad about it. You understand? We have all these commercials and all this media showing us how to keep ourselves youthful. And in a time now where we have surgeries and doctors and amazing technology to revert back to youthful selves physically, it's really exciting and people go crazy about that, And I'm not against any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's people who know how to alter things limitly, like, oh, okay, I want to get my teeth done. Okay, I want to do this. I'm not opposed to any types of surgery, but my heart goes out to the ones that I see start to engage in those things constantly, like, consecutive surgeries and be obsessed with their bodies and go get their breasts done and it's not good enough and they still feel like they're not worthy or this or that or whatever have you. And this is because the thing that's broken or the thing that doesn't look right or the thing that doesn't feel good on them is not physical. It's the consciousness. The soul wants to evolve. The soul wants to be okay with itself. Physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. But when our belief system values the youth only and looks at the maturity part of us and the consciousness evolution or the evolution process of us, and it looks down on it, that's the thing that's broken. And that's the thing that needs to be nipped and tucked, but there's no surgery for that. You understand what I'm saying? So I tell women who are all constantly like obsessed with the way they look and the way they feel, you can hear the self-talk. Okay? I hear the self-talk. I see the memes that tell me that I don't like myself. And it's not the body. It don't matter how many fucking eyelashes you plow on your face. It doesn't matter how many nips and tucks you get. It doesn't matter how many likes you get on your fucking post-surgery fucking pictures. It's not what's broken. What's broken is your belief system about who you are as you mature. Okay? So maturity is a beautiful thing. It's a part of us. It's our natural selves. You understand? And like I said, it doesn't matter if you get things altered and fixed. I don't care about that. I think that's beautiful too. But it doesn't matter how many people tell you you're beautiful. And it doesn't matter, you still will have that thing in you that constantly needs to be fixed. And you will look for that in surgeries, in people, in relationship, in likes, and stupid shit that is wasting your time and not helping you grow. You understand? Because the consciousness is the thing that needs to mature, and allow it to. Allow your consciousness to mature. You have to understand that whatever you're believing in is what you're putting power in, and those are the things that help you measure your self-worth. Okay? So I say this to say that there's an inner child, and that inner child can't do things, or she can't do things that the adult needs to handle. In the same way we put child safety on our cars, on our YouTube accounts, on things that the children are doing, and we watch the children. You can't cross the street alone. You can't say those words. You can't The same way we manage and micromanage children, you need to micromanage that young, youthful consciousness inside of yourself. You need to have a sit with that child, and you need to tell them what they can and cannot do. Because sometimes that inner thought process of that child's belief system is self-sabotaging our otherwise opportunities for us, that they're self-sabotaging things that are meant for you to evolve. You don't realize it. And if we don't, it's unconscious. You know what I'm saying? It's unconscious. That means you cannot know where it comes from until you make it conscious. And that takes work. You understand? So with that being said, I see a lot of y'all, you know what I mean? A lot of dudes, older dudes always looking for younger chicks, or bitches that have got mad surgery. And those are tell signs that this person has emotional stagnation and spiritual lack of awareness. You understand? So you have to really now, I'm not saying nothing wrong with them. I'm not saying don't date them. I'm not saying don't engage with them. I'm saying appropriate. I'm saying to make sure that when you date in a person like that, that you bring up your core values and y'all talk about things like that, because there's no sense for you to add more infliction on people who are mentally and emotionally in sensitive places. You understand? Those are outdated belief systems. Trying to force things that are naturally evolving to stay, regressed or devolved, or to stay little is like, it's like trying to block a giant flow of fucking water. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine the whole ocean rushing to you, and you trying to put a wall to hold it. It will break. You understand what I'm saying? It will break. Tension occurs. Your life starts to become unbalanced. You don't understand things. The experiences and the results that you're pulling in from these choices aren't working for you. And that's because there's an outdated belief system. Okay? And sometimes the child self is, complaining about shit that adults don't even care about anymore. And you're fighting yourself to value shit that doesn't really hold any significance in your life anymore. All right? So this is what I suggest to my clients and friends when I'm doing any type of therapies with them, or anything like that. When we're doing consulting, I suggest that you hold a small funeral for yourself. You know what I'm saying? A small funeral for your old self. The old you needs to go. You understand? And you need to kill off parts of it. And I'm extreme, and when I do my therapy sessions and my exercises with my classes, my groups, or friends or whatever, I like to go extreme, and I like to make, you know what I'm saying, we make events of these healing things, because people are not trying to, you talk about healing and people feel like they're going to be put in a hospital or being depressed. It doesn't have to be that way. You can be consciously in a good space and say, yo, you know what, today we're going to be approaching this topic in my life. And that's healthy, mature, proactive approach to shit that is heavy and that affects you every day. So with that being said, I'm going to leave it at that. This is the third time I recorded this. The first 2 times I cut my head off and I was popping some real heavy shit. So it was really dope. So I'm hoping that I covered everything. I hope you guys like it. I just wanted to say one more time, I'm not judging nobody. I love all of y'all. I've been in these experiences. I've understood these experiences, and I've watched these things occur and evolve around me. I'm just speaking all of this to say that it's not just those 2 examples. Those were just 2 extreme examples, how the youthful mind affects us. But there's other ways that it affects us, like who we hang out with, what kind of things we find enjoyable, what kind of things we allow around our children. These things affect us because of the belief system that we're in. If you're still in a 17-year-old mind frame, it's cool because I still feel 17, although you're 37, you have some work to do. You have some work to do, because a 17-year-old cannot be making choices that a 37-year-old needs. A 17-year-old's mind frame cannot be going to a 37-year-old's job. You understand what I'm saying? So you guys got to figure that out. You know, a 37-year-old should not be dating a 17-year-old. We got to figure these things out. All right. So it's not to say that, you know what I mean? I don't want to judge, but it's just not appropriate. You understand what I'm saying? These things are not appropriate, and let's find out why they're not appropriate. Let's not say, oh, he's fucked up, she's fucked up, you know, they was raised like this is. Let's not judge them. Let's not make people feel like they fucked up for making these normal choices. It's normal that a 37-year-old will think that he could do 17-year-old shit if he believes he's still 17. You have to understand that. You have to understand that. We say so much like, yo, I don't even feel like I'm 37. I don't even feel like I'm 45. I still feel like I'm 19. You have to watch what you speak, because when you speak that, you're powering it as well. You're creating that reality for 17-year-old things to come into your life and for you to engage in those things because you feel strong in that. I've been 17 for 37 years. So yeah, I could handle this. But 17-year-olds, you can't handle 47-year-old issues that you need to handle, or whatever have you, whatever ages you guys are at. But you get what I'm saying to you, you know? It's the same way as if you have a child, okay? If you have a 14, 15-year-old, but he hangs out with 8-year-olds, you're going to be like, yeah, what's going on here? It's because the inner child is not evolving, okay? So we have to approach those things. If your belief system is constantly around things that are immature, you will have already conditioned your unconscious to feel youthful still, because you have not given yourself mature experiences. I mean, fear is a lot to do with that, and conditioning. And that's another video, I guess. But for the most part, you guys have to understand that. And when you can think back and ask yourself, like, yo, how do I feel? Like, do I feel my age now? Or honest to God, I kid y'all not, I'm just getting, like, I've always spoke, like, yo, I still feel young. I'm this, I'm that, I be chilling. But now, like, over the last couple of years, maybe the last 3 years, I've changed completely. Thank God. And I'm super excited about it because I love being mature. I love my mature self. I love me right now. I'm in my prime right now. And like, that is just such a beautiful thing. And so when I got there, I was like, yo, this is crazy how I approached life. And the moment that I started to accept that all the things that were happening in my life that I didn't like, all the things that made me feel less than, made me misvalue myself, made me like hurt, made me deal with people that I didn't expect, you know, to maybe treat me a certain way, whatever, because I don't want to blame people for anything. I attracted those things to myself because I still felt like, oh, I was young enough to handle those things. Like, yo, I'm young, I'm youthful, I'm good. I'm a master at that. I can handle that. But constantly staying in that vibe, I was like, yo, when this shit gonna end? Like, when does life start? When does the idea of me as an adult begin? And then it started to come. But it had a lot of, you know, I had to change a lot. I had to grow up. I had to let a lot of shit go. A lot of behaviors, a lot of friends, a lot of things. It all had to do with my young belief system. You understand? Not that you don't love these people, and not that you don't deal with these people or these things or these events or whatever have you. You still love them. You still care about them, and you still can engage with them. But the adult needs to be making the decisions now. You can't be putting that little young belief system in the driver's seat to make choices for you. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you. Whoever's watching, please share it, like, comment, subscribe to me, and we're gonna pick up later on this week and do some more. All right, bye.